We're going to get started here on this other game. Right out the gate, Mark went ahead and threw an emblem. Mark Gray is going to make a decision. I'm sorry, Mark Gray. Jim Payne is going to make a decision on whether he wants to go around this weight or take the conservative route and just go ahead and hit weights and lag. I think I know what Mike would be doing here, but I could be wrong. Mike, what would you be doing here?
Yeah, I couldn't live with myself shooting it that way.
You go ahead and slam that weight off.
Looks like he's, unless this is the hammer, it looks like he's coming in there.
And Josh Aduttle just lagged out on Junior. So Josh Aduttle will be moving on. See if that stays on the board.
Looks like it's gonna, Eddie.
Yeah.
Surely that's a deuce.
So we'll see a
ended up in a good spot on the board.
See a left cross here. See if he gets it over. He gets it over just fine. Sticks.
Look
That's
at that.
A great shot.
Oh man.
That is what we call a pro shot right there. It's a golf clap shot. This is that same span that we saw Mark throw in the first frame of the first game.
Yeah, it was. He just let off the gas a little bit on it.
Just a little bit. So you see Jim lagging with the deuce working here.
That's what Mark does.
There it goes. Goes off.
That's what Mark Gray does.
You got Jim Payne's hammer coming here. Looks like it's short.
Yeah. We've learned we're not going to get a whole lot of release out of those weights. A whole lot of float. Looks like the game between Dwayne Maxwell and Roger Holloway's tightened up a little bit. It is Dwayne only has a 6-4 lead now. Last time we looked, it was 5-1 Dwayne.
Jim gets a 3 in there, testing the end of the board, making.
Once again, doesn't look like he has any problem lagging that direction with those weights.
Yeah. Mark sticks it dead. I'd imagine we won't see that weight move much this frame. I think they're just going to keep sticking it back and forth. Looks like they're both really comfortable with that shot, so. It's got to come back a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
And it does.
Yes.
So the weight that we thought was almost going to come back for Mark also just came back for Jim there. So this is, I think, a great spot. I think this is a great spot to put a weight from with your hammer control versus Jim. Make him throw that left cross against across the board.
Oh, he's coming around it.
That's a play that I'd expect out of you and I. Not quite Jim Payne. That's a
Mark Gray liked one
that's
in
a
there.
really, really confusing play right there by Jim.
Yeah, it is. You know, he might have decided that he likes it better lagging that
may have.
direction.
Yeah.
But don't you have to calculate in, you know, which way? You know, Mark didn't show
Your opponent hates lagging?
signs of lagging that direction the last game.
You know, and with that said, there was out in Cedar Park where we play over at the post, Marcus Cepeda, player out of Houston, came down and we played a whole bunch of matches, and we played on a board that was a hammer control board. And we played it and played it and played it, and Marcus just hated the board, and he was like, would you agree that this is just a hammer control board? You just want it one way? And I said, it's not necessarily that I want it one way, it's that I don't want you lagging the other way, you know? And so
Yeah.
that's a big part. You know, if you're lagging well both ways and your opponent is lagging terrible the other way,
Absolutely.
then it has nothing to do with what you like. It is exploiting your opponent's weakness. And
Exactly.
I think by switching the hammer there, even though Jim maybe feels that he lags the other way better, Mark's had a tough time lagging that way. Make him continue to lag the other way. So we'll see just a nice, we'll see a hard right hand here by Mark. Like I said, I haven't seen Mark play a whole bunch. That's one of the stronger right rail shots that I've seen in the game. I mean, I felt like I had a hard right rail shot.
I'd say you, Roger, and Mark Gray.
He gets it up that rail probably a lot straighter than I do.
You know what's most impressive about that? Is I was watching there, he actually throws with his index finger on top of the weight, which is telling me that he is pushing the weight and not really shooting.
I saw the exact same thing. Roger and I hold the weight.
I didn't know you could throw a weight that hard with your index finger on top.
Roger and I hold the weight pretty similar. And I guarantee you neither one of us hold it like Mark Gray. And that goes to show, you know, Steph Curry shoots a basketball, great. Other players shoot basketballs, great. But they don't necessarily shoot the basketball the exact same way. And they're effective. So I'm a Spurs fan, by the way, just for people listening. Don't think that I'm a Golden State bandwagon, because that is not the case. So let's just want to make sure that that's clear. Just
where are we at in this game, Eddie?
3-2. 3-2. Mark Gray's leading.
Mark Gray's hammer.
So we'll see what Jim Payne decides to do with his last weight here in this frame. It looked like he was pretty willing to give up the end that he was just lagging to. We'll see if that changes now. If he just lagged a 1 and said, you know what, I want to go back the other way. I'm
telling you, he wants the hammer going that direction, it appears.
So we'll see how Mark decides to lag here. Does he lag that right span, wide right span? That looks like what it's going to be. It's got enough. It's either good or gone. And it is good.
I'll tell you what.
Great lag.
Great lag.
Jim's kind of looking at it like, how did that weight stop? Only my weights are supposed to stop like that.
I'd be checking Mark's pockets for salt right now.
We'll see what Mark decides to do here. We're going to go short weight, not let Jim check the end of the board. 6'2". Jim may decide, you know, let's go ahead and pass this weight, start to create some action, or he may say, we're right in this game. I'm up 1-0. Let's grind this out, see where it goes, and let's just hit this weight. So we'll see what he decides to do here. And he decided to bump it, so he wants action. That's really not in a bad spot. I don't even know if I'm really trying to cover that weight. I may be dropping something on the other side of that blue weight and letting him go ahead and try to get around that other weight, because it really is. There's not a lot there with as deep as that weight is. Looks like he may be trying to go around this weight here.
I think otherwise he'd be shooting it left-handed.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I tell you, wait, his weights are just slow enough that they might get in there and stop. Look at that. You know, most weights we've seen, that line's, I mean, that come around's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like Mark's going to shoot that span. Maybe hit that the deep red weight into the blue. No?
He's trying to get it out. That weight will travel across the board. They're both ones. It's not, I mean, there's not a ton there. If I'm Jim, I'm throwing the exact same shot I got that there with and hope to bump that to a deuce, right?
Yeah, that's what I see.
And if I was marked the shot before, I may be looking at trying to throw a freehand and sticking that blue weight. If I feel like the board's breaking that way, all of a sudden I get 3 working. Worst case scenario is I chip that, I guess. Not worst case, because you can catch that blue weight then and end up knocking it up and burying it behind the other stuff. But
chipping that short red over, and
I said I think Jim Payne he's going to throw the same exact shot he got there with, and hope to get a bump out of this. Has enough. No, it doesn't have enough speed.
Get up there.
Man, his weights are slow. So now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, the only thing I want to do here, let's look at that. 6-2.
ride straight and break late. I'm thinking Mark might try a right-hand span straight and hit the deep red at a severe angle into the blue.
And the only thing I see with that
he has a safety in the red behind it.
Is if you do, he's going to try to get in there. Man, that's a risky shot. You do not want to get into that blue weight here.
Look at that.
Well, I think for the first time since we've been broadcasting, we will have all 8 weights on the board, unless Jim lags this off, which Jim is lagging here.
This could be a first. Could be a first for both these guys.
Yeah, for these two guys to have all 8 weights on the board, they haven't done this since they were playing multiplier back in Missouri. That's for sure. I mean, these are the type of frames you see whenever you're playing league night with 3s and 4s everywhere, and you just see 8 weights on the board, just people doing some crazy stuff, or you're playing Mike Taylor versus Marcus Cepeda, you start to see these frames as well.
When's the last time you can recall seeing a cluster of weights like that?
And
they're all in 1 square foot, like 6 weights.
Mark Gray just came over and said, "Looks like a Mark Taylor frame."
We might have to stop these guys and ask them if they've ever done that before. Is that a first for both y'all? All 8 weights on the board? And yeah. They agree it's a first for both of them.
We thought they were playing multiplier for a second, but all right,
1 point came out of that.
Yeah, we'll see if we can go back to some regular shuffleboard here and see what we have here. And we're right back to man, what has gotten into these two guys?
I think they had too much fun that last frame. They want to keep it going.
They saw Mike Taylor in the booth and said, "You know what? We're playing Mike Taylor ball.
We can do that too.
We can." Up 6-3, bearing a weight, Mark Gray. I love it. Love it. Great shot.
Laser left to Jim Payne.
I mean, you just buried that weight. I'm going right back in there, right?
Yeah.
There he goes. Comes up a little short there, but actually not. But that's.
We have action.
That's a.
I think we're locked into a shooter's frame here.
Yeah. He's getting in there.
These guys have gone berserk with this come around, this shooting game. That might be good.
Man, those weights.
I can't believe
it's so good.
Look, they're backing up.
Yeah, it's been backing up. Wow.
These guys are playing some ball. They're letting us know now.
You're watching professional shuffleboard right now. That's a great shot right there by Mark Gray. We talked earlier in the match about how firm he likes to throw at weights, and you just saw right there. That's a phenomenal shot. This is why they're in the winner's bracket final.
You can really tell how bad both of these guys want this, can't you?
And you know, up up a game right now. Jim Payne, if he's down a game, he may be saying, you know what, let's go ahead and hit those weights, stay in this game, grind.
Look at this.
But up a game, let's go ahead and get in there. Let's try to get this over with, and let's be aggressive. Worst case scenario is we go to game 3 and Jim Payne Jim Payne gives a wink after he throws that shot. Mark Gray's going in with a free hand. Let's see if it comes back. It did not. That's a world-class shot right there by Jim Payne.
It's a world-class frame. Beautiful frame.
Shows you how good these guys are, and that's what makes shuffleboard fun. That frame right there, seeing the double stick combo, seeing the buried 3, seeing the free hand outside, not quite coming back. You know, the only thing that makes that better is Mark Gray gets that free hand out and sticks that weight, and all of a sudden everybody at home is just they're in awe. You know, it's a great frame right there.
We really didn't think we were going to have many made-for-TV moments in this match, but
yeah, there have been a couple.
Back-to-back frames.
Yeah. All right, so we're right back. It's a brand new ball game. It's a race to 9, and we have Mark Gray going towards the lagging end, or what we've considered the lagging end. So we'll see how it plays out from here. Over on board 8, Roger Holloway just eliminated Dwayne Maxwell, so I believe it'll be Roger Holloway playing against Josh
Battle.
And then the loser of this game will be playing the winner of that match. So just kind of give the folks at home what's going on.
Spread the word. Tomorrow the roll call is at 10 o'clock. If you are a Raider, you need to be here at 9 o'clock. Okay, we'll be having a Raiders meeting in Billy's Roadhouse. Raiders meeting is at 9. Roll call is at 10.
You know, I'd have to say something, Eddie. It does my heart well to see 2 middle-aged players like Jim and Mark. They absolutely deserve to be here, but the young guns have really been coming up and playing hard, and it seems like they're getting out there pretty frequently. So,
yeah, I would say these are two of the guys that I haven't seen quite as much since I've started playing, but you definitely have heard of them. I heard right before I started playing, Jim Payne just went on a absolute tear on the pro level. So
yeah, several majors in 1 year, several major singles. Don't get me wrong, they have a couple of kids right on their heels.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Very intimidating players. Roger Holloway and Josh Battle.
Yeah.
Looks like Roger has a little bounce in his step. Not sure if that's an excitement or.
Josh won't be crawling to that match by any means. He'll have a bounce as well, trust me. So now we're back to a little more conventional shuffleboard. Mark lags a 1. Jim's going to go ahead and play this frame based on that first weight, pretty conservative. Let's go ahead and get back to the ABCs as far as in their games. Let's go ahead and hit weights and lag. And then Mark those out weight and may make Jim
will
think
be
twice.
passing that way. Can't see him passing that up. I mean, passing up the come around.
Right. There he goes. So now Mark has a little decision here. Do we want to just cover that weight a little deeper than the red weight, or do we, I'm sorry, deeper than the blue weight, or do we want to go ahead and bump that weight up? And it looks like he's electing to go around it. It's a pretty tight hole. Let's see if he can get in there. That would be a really, really big mistake if that other red weight goes off there. With that red weight staying on the board, it's all right. You got 2 weights ahead of his blue.
A lot of board blocked.
Yeah.
Looks like they're pretty equal to each other. I mean, as far as one sticking past the other. Jim's going to shoot that combo. Yep, trying to hit the inside of that red weight.
Oof.
Almost had it.
So now if you're Mark, all you're trying to do here is you need to get past the blue in the mid, and it doesn't matter depth-wise as far as you're not in a deuce, but you just want to be past the blue in the middle of the board.
It's perfect.
That's exactly what he did.
Couldn't have walked that down any better.
Yep, great shot. And we talked earlier about how Jim likes to lag right cross. That is pretty much blocked unless you really want to thread that. I think you have a little more room.
Left cross.
Left, but we'll see what he decides to do here.
You know, that right cross, that right cross though, Eddie, it wouldn't matter so much if he hit that weight on the rail thin.
Yeah, and it will fight back that way. So you can almost throw at that weight and know that the board is going to fight back to the middle and be okay with it. The board doesn't pull that way, so you're fine pretty much lagging into that weight there. So he's like freehand. Not sure what line. So he's going to go on the right side of that red weight.
Ooh, it's close to that blue. Yeah, got into that blue.
That's
got a little break there, man.
That's a big break.
Man. We've seen that. I know what happened in my game. I lagged off the side. We saw another lag go off the side, and now that one get into a weight.
Yeah.
That shouldn't even be in the picture, should it?
I don't think so, and I don't know if I want that line. You know, especially if you're a right-handed lagger, you like knowing that the board is fighting back to the middle from the left side. You can, like I said, you can lag almost into that weight on the left rail and know that it's going to pull back. If not, you just lag to the outside of that middle weight and know that it's going to pull back.
Freehand at the side of the board he chose was tricky.
And this weight right here from Mark, man, it kind of seems like Mark wants action. He wants weights on the board. I think he may be gone with the hit and lag game, you know. And honestly, I mean, he's kind of looking for action here. I mean, there's up 8-6, and you put that weight there, which I said is not. It's weird to see from these two players, but it's not too far-fetched from a couple other players.
I think one reason Mark might be trying to lob deep ones up there is to have the hammer to possibly steal it again coming this direction. I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense with the 2-point lead to keep lobbing them up there and giving Jim passes with the hammer. I don't know about that one. It's going to get into that red.
I think so.
Boy, it held straight a long time, didn't it?
It skimmed it. We're going to see it again. We'll see if Jim barely skimmed that weight, see if he likes that line. He went freehand last time, so you'll see he picks up a left cross. He doesn't want to try that same shot. So Mark's going to go ahead and throw his weight off, give Jim a clean lag. We haven't seen a lot of just automatic throw-offs. What that automatic throw-off does is it makes Jim lag on a clean board. And if Jim goes off with this weight, Mark has a hammer going back the other way. If Mark leaves that weight on the board and puts it as a 1, then if it goes off, then Jim has a hammer going back the other way. So that's why you'll see a player automatically throw a weight off.
You know, I was right about Jim and his weights. I had him doing most of the scoring going the other direction.
Yeah.
The more the board breaks down, the slower his weights get. Bounce. I think Jim's just keeping a feel for the end here, trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. It's a pretty clean cut frame of shuffleboard here, nothing crazy.
1 point lead, middle of the game, with a game under your belt. He's going to play this close to the vest.
Pretty good stick right there. Jim has 1 weight left. Again, we talked about Jim really not driving weights, so I don't think you have any fear of him putting this into a 2. If he sticks this, you're lagging against 1. So. See how aggressive Mark wants to get here. 8-7. See if he wants to open this up. Put it 11-7. He gave it a go.
He let it go.
Yeah,
man.
he let it go.
I tell you what,
Man. Gosh.
those weights are really stopping on that end, aren't they?
Not only that.
Oh, that backed up.
That weight got in there for a deuce and then just
A deep deuce, wasn't it?
came back. Yeah.
Did Mark mess with the leg of that board when we weren't watching?
As you can see beside us, Joshua Duddle and Roger Holloway are warming up, practicing on board 12.
I believe they both played it once before, haven't they?
Yes, Josh and I played on that board last night. That is a hammer control board there.
Coming towards us.
I expect Jim to go ahead and practice his lag here. Try to get a deuce in there, see what the board's giving him. And he's just kind of throwing a weight up there, hoping that Mark sticks it.
That's surprising to me. He hasn't been real close with his last couple lags. He's come up short.
We'll see him go ahead and protect his hammer here.
Well, you would think so. I think he just wants to make sure that he's not having to stick for two. He's coming in. Look at this play. Look at this play. Talk about unexpected.
Man,
a 2-point lead.
These guys
He's like 2 threes and a deuce going the other direction, and he's going to pass
that deuce did back up to a 1.
Oh, it sure did, yeah. Maybe that had something to do with that last shot. I mean, this is hammer coming, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Shot really confused me.
Got there and stayed there. Man.
It looked like that shot of Mark's bumping Jim's weight forced Jim out into a more virgin area or a well-waxed area, and Jim's weights actually had last weight actually had a little bit of release there.
Yeah.
A little bit of float.
See Jim just found him short weights, not giving Mark a real feel for the end of the board in the frame. I mean, Mark already has a feel for the end of the board, so it's not, there's no reason to go out and test it and get 2 or 3 working on you. So Mark's just going to hit him off and lag at the end of his frame and hope to get on 12. Jim has a decision here. Do we pass this weight off from 2 and make sure that he doesn't get on 12? Or do I just go ahead and hit this weight off and give him a go at it? You know, this ends showed how hard it is to lag. For me, I'm probably just banging that weight off and making him lag that way. And if I mark here 11 and 9, I don't know, it's an absolute feel spot. It's how you're feeling in the game, how you're feeling sticking weights, how you're feeling lagging. If you feel good sticking that weight, you're sticking it. If you don't, then you're lagging, and he's lagging. Oh, and that is a huge lag there. I mean, that thing just, it got there, and but
you wouldn't think that you could place a weight on the end of that board like that, would you?
You know, we've seen this end of the board here in the last few frames not release as much as it has in the past.
At all.
So
we're talking air brakes.
So he gets in there, and God, that is a money lag right there. So that's
2 threes and a 4 by Mark Gray going that direction.
Now we're gonna see just a lot of banging weights. Mark, I guarantee you, feels extremely confident going the other way. He just wants to get out of this frame without giving up 5, knowing that he's going to get out of it the next frame with his lag.
You know, we went into this match thinking they'd be fighting for the hammer coming towards us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, every match has really been trying to fight for it coming towards us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great stick. So Jim's trying to get that
Excellent.
weight out in the middle. He doesn't want to stick that weight dead on the rail. He wants Mark to be shooting in the middle of the board, hoping to draw a stick in the middle. Mark's just going to go ahead and keep the board clean.
Looks like a good lag. Boy, these guys.
No 3-ball right there, 13-13. That's a big lag right there.
You know, I'm really not believing my eyes here on how well these guys are lagging this board.
So we'll see here. 13-13. It's a tricky way. How do you want to play this frame? Ultimately, you want to try to get a deuce working. And whenever I say a deuce working, that means that somebody hops a 2 and you can cover it. Mark is just going to go ahead and try to play this frame pretty straight up. The only thing I can see him doing differently is if Jim allows him to go around a weight, Mark may go in there and try to bury a weight in there, but for the most part it should be a pretty straight up frame. At the end of this frame, if Jim's last weight is in his hand with nothing on the board, it is going to be thrown off the board and make Mark lag a deuce to go out.
You know, these guys are lobbing 2s and 3s down there. Oh. Ooh.
So now what you want is you want to try to get pretty tight on this weight, I believe. You don't want a lot of separation because this is Jim's 3rd weight. You know, separation isn't terrible here, but you want to have a good cover on there that allows him not to combo these weights off. But then on the other hand, you don't want to get in this and throw a bad cover with your 4th weight and allow him to chip this out and then have hammer coming back the other way. So really think about how this frame is. Looks like that's wide open right-handed. If I'm Mark, I'm hammering that way.
That's a tough way to go at it with that span. It's really flat over there.
Is it?
Yes.
Looks like Mark's almost
Look
trying
how
to
flat that
stick
is.
that.
What a shot.
That's a great shot. So Jim has to stick this weight. If Jim doesn't stick this weight, it's the whole concept of this frame, making the guy lag on a clean board, is completely gone. So just hitting this weight, I mean,
It's more two cracks at a deuce.
it has to go, of course, but if you just hit and go with this weight, the whole concept of how you played this frame is gone. So now Mark gets 2 shots at a deuce here, which is the ideal situation at 13-13 with the hammer. If he doesn't like a deuce going this way, he gets it going back the other way. But this will not be a 1.
It's either there or too hard, one of the two.
Jeez, that is just
unreal.
Gosh, that is just dying. We have not seen that. I've been broadcasting these games for 3 or 4 matches, and I have not seen any weights stop at the end of the board like those last 2 just did.
And we know it's not the weights from watching the first game.
No, it's not the weights. Absolutely not. Man, that's wild. But like I said, that was not going to be a 1. If it was off the board, it was off the board, but it was not a 1.
Yeah, that was a free roll at it.
So here we go, game 3.